with Miss B. Sessa. I'm reading some comments, and people are saying that people make mistakes. You know, Miss B. Sessa would have made a mistake, somebody said. And you know, we need to forgive. We need to forgive, somebody saying. Somebody saying that you need to forgive. Come on. Well, I want to finish play off Mr. Maraj's conference and then get to the phone lines and hear from you. Remember, we have the COVID-19 update coming up in a short bit. Also, we have, yes, we have the COVID-19 update coming up in a short bit. So we want you to be around for that. All right? We want you to be around for that, Trinidad and Tobago. So, don't touch your dial, you know. I want to hear from you. After you heard all what Mr. Maraj had to say, I want to hear what you think about what Mr. Maraj had to say. I want to hear Kingsley, Mr. Penal. I want to hear all of them, giving them that opportunity to weigh in, come in the dance and show off your new frock. I want to hear Mr. Penal. I want to hear Kingsley. I want to hear all of the UNC supporters in the midst of this situation. What do you all have to say about it? I really want to hear it. I just want to hear. I'm sorry, I want to hear what the UNC supporters, especially the gentleman who would have called me and said to me, Google, the Attorney General, and what. I want to hear from all your fellas. I really want to hear from the UNC supporters today. I really want to hear from all you know. This might be the first time you might be hearing me begging for it to call in. Just to tell me what you all think. I really want to hear how you all feel about the situation. All right? I just want to hear how you all feel about the situation. What are your thoughts? If you all think Ms. B. Sessa should go, if you all think that, hey, it's just a genuine mistake, what do you all have to say? So I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys in a short bit. So we're going for the COVID-19 update. And after the COVID-19 update, then I'm going to finish play off what Mr. Maraj had to say. And then the rest of the program, with a little information that I'll give to you from time to time. But the rest of the program is dedicated to hearing from you guys. And I have one picture I wanted to show of something yesterday that I got. And I want to say thank you to the management and staff of the Southwest Regional Health Authorities that reached out to me yesterday. All right. I want to say thank you all very much for reaching out to me.
Street 919 FM COVID-19 updates. In case you missed it, the latest COVID positive cases in TNT as of 16th June 2021 stands at new positive cases 297, total active cases 8,869, total recovered patients 20,042. Total positive cases for COVID-19 as of March 2020 to present, 29,606. Follow the Ministry of Health COVID-19 protocols. Wear your mask, sanitize, social distance, and avoid gatherings. A message from the Street 919 FM.
Right. So I'm going to play for you, and I'm going to thank Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne has been doing a very good job in informing us about the COVID-19, the COVID-19 updates, giving us the accurate numbers and stuff like that. All right. So make sure and get your COVID. Make sure and take all the COVID-19 updates that you get right here on the Street 919 FM. All right. Omega XL, international cricket superstars like Kern Pollard and Mr. Dwayne Bravo, and you have Ravi B, and you have all these superstars has all been using Omega XL for joint pain and getting great relief. So what about you? Just pick up a bottle of Omega XL right now at all leading pharmacies, or just call 225-0410. So live long, live strong with Omega XL. All right. Also, let's give you this information. Yes, it's true. Pennywise just for you. So real, get that perfect smile. Beauty in every aisle. To take care of your body, we have all you need to stay healthy. Pennywise, yes, it's true. Pennywise just for you. Pennywise give you more to love. Also, letting you know about a chow time. All right, chow time with Maggie. All right. So make sure and pick up your bottle of Maggie pepper sauce. Flavor 3 ways, all right, to spice up the chow. So make sure and pick up your Maggie pepper sauce to spice up your chow, those of you who love chow. All right, so check Maggie Caribbean FB and IG win to win. All right, Netflix and mobile top-ups. All right, so Maggie, I'm going to play this for you. Finish off play this clip for you from Mr. Mirage, and then I'm going to come back. And I think I have one thing I want to show you. Again, I want to say thank you to the management and staff of the Southwest Regional Health Authorities that reached out to me yesterday afternoon. I want to say thank you guys very much. I'll show you all some pictures that they would have sent me, and we deal with that going forward. All right, let me say good afternoon to people joining me from Canada, people joining me from the UK, people joining me from Brooklyn, New York, people joining me from different parts of the world on Facebook. Thank you very much. I'm going to play for you now, Mr. Mirage, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to take your calls. All right? So this is what Mr. Mirage was, his closing remarks. All right?
The opposition, who served as Attorney General and therefore would have known that the chairman of the board of directors and the board of itself would have had a responsibility for this case. The chairman and the board had a duty to see that there was evidence to support the allegation. The board had a duty to ensure that it made the chairman of the board accountable to the board, to ensure that the decision to terminate the contract was properly made, that it was made on the basis of evidence to show that there was no fake oil, not suspicion, evidence to show. That was not a function of the Attorney General, Trinidad. These foreign audit firms, Kroll and Klein, were not retained by the Attorney General. They were retained by Petrotrin's, and they were retained on the advice of Petrotrin's senior counsel and lawyers. Those were the instructions of Petrotrin, not the Attorney General. I am not holding any brief for the Attorney General, but I have a duty as a previous Attorney General and one who knows the working of this and the law to tell the country that this is wrong. It is therefore wrong for the leader of the opposition to make it appear to the public that the Prime Minister or the Attorney General had anything to do with the conduct of Petrotrin's case before the arbitrator. The leader of the opposition also by her comments has shown public disrespect to the arbitrators, to allege or to insinuate that these eminent judges as arbitrators could have made a decision based on influence by politicians. I want to give the public an idea of how an arbitration works. The procedure employed by arbitrators to determine a dispute and this dispute is the same kind of procedure which is employed by a High Court judge in the High Court. ANV, in support of its case, had to file what is called a statement of case. In that statement of case, it had to give all its material facts on which it relied upon, and all the relevant facts, that Petrotrin wrongfully terminated the contract. Petrotrin, in answer to that statement of case, had to file a defense. Petrotrin had to answer all the allegations made by A&B in the statement of case. And it had to stay in that defense why it is saying that it was right to terminate the contract. It had to produce a pleading to say it had evidence to support it. A&B would have had a chance to put in a reply to the defense of Petrotrin if any new matters were raised, and Petrotrin would have had a chance to put in what is called a rejoinder if any new matters was raised in the reply. But that was not the end of the matter. More papers had to be filed. A&B had to file witness statements to support its case. The witnesses had to give evidence on oath. And Petrotrin had to file witness statements to support its case. But that is not the end. The arbitrators in this case didn't decide the case on witness statements without seeing all these witnesses. There was a virtual hearing of this arbitration, which lasted 14 days. It started on the 23rd of November, it went to the 27th of November, then the 30th of November, then went to the 1st, to the 5th, and the 16th to the 18th of December, 2020. At these hearings, witnesses were cross-examined. The witnesses for A&B were cross-examined by Ms. Deborah Peake and her junior lawyer. The lawyers for A&B cross-examined Petrotrin witnesses. Then there were submissions. Both sides had the opportunity of making submissions. It was agreed for submissions to be made in writing. There were extensive submissions made. And the arbitrators took from December 2020 to June, almost 6 months, to arrive at their decision. Reviewing, reading, analyzing, assessing, and deciding. In conclusion, I am saying, the members of the public, therefore, have the right to know the contents of the judgment given by the arbitrators in this matter. Because this was an arbitration in which the facts and circumstances which led to the arbitration show that politics influenced the investigation, which was launched by Petrotrin against A&B and Mr. Bash. As I pointed out, the opposition leader challenged Petrotrin to do this investigation and call upon it to do the investigation. Members of the public therefore have a right to know of the assessment made by the arbitrators, and they have a right to know of the evidence led at the arbitration. For members of the public and the media to make their judgment as to whether there was vindication or not of the allegations made by the public, by both the leader of the opposition and the newly appointed chairman of Petrotrin. The need for members of the public to know these matters is heightened by the fact that millions of taxpayers' dollars were spent by Petrotrin in order to pursue the allegations made by the leader of the opposition. Members of the public, therefore, are entitled to know whether it was justifiable for Petrotrin to pursue these allegations in the light of the evidence which Petrotrin presented to the arbitrators and in the light of the assessment made of the evidence and the decision given by the arbitrators. It is also important for the public to know whether government would allow or permit taxpayers' money, more taxpayers' money, to spend in Petrotrin further litigating the issues in this matter. although the government does not make decisions for the board of directors, the company is owned by Trinidad and Tobago, the shareholders, the corporation sold. And therefore, corporation sold is responsible to be able to determine whether taxpayers' monies could be used to further litigate these issues. If the issues are further litigated, I would have no complaint. It's better for lawyers. It's more fees. But in the public interest, I am saying that this would be further waste of taxpayers' monies. I wish to make it clear that quite apart from all these considerations of taxpayers' monies, I have a duty to say that where a leader of the opposition of this country has made serious allegations of corruption against the holder of the office of Prime Minister, and there is a determination of the allegations, or determination of the allegations which supported the allegations made against the Prime Minister, the national interest requires for members of the public to assess for themselves and to know the assessment made by those arbitrators, not only in relation to A&V matter, but for the purpose of whether there was any truth in the allegations made by the leader of the opposition. As I said, this is not a party political issue. This is a national issue. It doesn't matter whether the Prime Minister is a member of the PNM or a member of the UNC or some other party group, some other political party. We are talking about the office holder of the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And in that context, I believe that the public interest has to be properly served in this matter, in the light of the history of this matter and in light of what has happened at the arbitration level. Let it be clear, no question of sub judice arises in a civil matter. The arbitrators have already made a decision, and therefore no question of sub judice can arise. But in any event, this issue was tested in a case in which the media in London made comments and criticisms about a civil matter, and there was an attempt to raise the sub judice point as a contempt of court against the newspaper, the Sunday Times. So the case is the Sunday Times versus the Attorney General of England. And in that case, the House of Lords, who are the same judges who sit in the Privy Council and the Supreme Court of London, which is now the equivalent of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom, decided that a judge in a civil case cannot be influenced by what members of the public or say. In other words, it said that if a judge with the vote he has taken would be influenced by what the press write, or what the public say, or what people say outside of the court, that person is not fit to be a judge. So I have decided in my duty, which I've had over the years in doing some public legal education, and in particular in the duty in this case, because it is one of the cases in my career as a lawyer over 50 years, I found very puzzling and startling. I could not understand, and I still cannot understand, how a state company, without any evidence to implicate a man and a company on fraud, based on pure suspicions, would have gone so far to break the company, to destroy the company, to destroy and damage the lives of people in the company. I cannot understand it. And to me, nothing that happens now could totally compensate for that injustice. But the only consolation I have, that this would not happen again. And I am doing this in order to send a signal that governments should not allow state companies and state corporations and state bodies to be rogue bodies. Some machinery has to happen for some of these state companies to be accountable, and that when they do wrong like this, it should not be left to the individual to go against the directors or anyone. There should be some recourse, but this is the worst that I've seen in my 50 years as a lawyer, and during which time I had some service in the politics. Thank you very much. I'm prepared to answer any question, and I'll ask some of my juniors to answer some of them. Thank you very much for coming.
Ms. Barange?
Yes.
Can you say how much taxpayers' money will now have to be paid in damages arising out of this matter?
As yet by the arbitrator. That will be another hearing, unless the parties can settle the issue of damages. Obviously, what happens sometimes in these cases, both sides get together and try to settle the issue instead of having a further hearing and a further assessment. So, but the damages issue has not been sorted out. The liability issue has been sorted out, but not the damages issue. But the cost would be tremendous, because there were on behalf of A and B, there were many foreign experts, and on behalf of Petrotrin, there was the evidence of Kroll and Klein. I think we had how many experts?
4 experts.
We had 4. How many foreign experts?
3 foreign.
We had 3 foreign experts. And you would remember that this matter lasted over a period from 2017 to about 2019. And there were a lot of procedural hearings and paper. So what the public normally see is probably the beginning or the end. But there's a lot of work done. A lot of Petrotrin would have taken a lot of technical points. We may have taken points on which Petrotrin considered to be technical. And there were arguments, there were rulings. So it's legal fees in these matters can be, you're talking about millions of dollars. Legal fees and arbitration expenses, because remember we had to pay the arbitrator, both sides had to pay the arbitrator. That is why it is important for the public to know. Any other question? Well, members of the media, I try my best to make this as simple as possible. I hope that I met that threshold and you were able to understand the issues. So if there are no more questions.
Hello? Hi. Just for clarity purposes, so the amount was awarded that is supposed to be paid, if not coming from the taxpayers, then who would be paying these damages?
Well, if Petrotrin has to pay the damages, it's ultimately, in my view, taxpayers' monies, because monies which could have been used by Petrotrin for other purposes or by the government for other purposes.
Mr. Maraj, would this decision taken by Petrotrin, which the arbitration panel would have overturned, did that decision to cancel the contract between the parties cripple the company's business? This asking because basically I know that would affect any damages or assessment of damages later on.
Well, Petrotrin did not only terminate this contract, my client had another contract. And that contract was also terminated, and this termination had an effect on the termination of that contract. So it really made a big dent in the operation of the company. And remember, we're living in a small society with these serious allegations made against both Mr. Baksh and the company. You will appreciate the kind of difficulties the company would have had in operating. In this case, remember the damages. If the damages have to be assessed by a tribunal, the damages would include, business that the company would have lost because of this. But I want to say that notwithstanding whatever has happened in this case, I am committed that if the government and Petrotrin at any time ready to try and resolve the issue of damages without prejudice, I'm prepared to have discussions with them.
All right, so we're back with you. I think that's it there. All right, so I'm going to take your calls, 342-0081, 342-0081, 771-1791, 466-5391. Now, I want you to make your points, and I know that many of you will have a lot to say, but I want you to make your points very, very short and to the point, because, we want to get as much calls as we can on the inside, all right? So I want you to make your points short to the point. As we get more viewers or more persons on the inside to make their contributions. I'm trying to find the picture that I got from the Southwest Regional Health Authorities yesterday, where they would have heard me asking for them to look into the situation that was happening outside the Laramie Health Center, and they would have sent me some photos of what was happening, and they did indicate to me that there was a tent in the car park, and they were taking care of the patients in the tent in the car park. But also they were sharing with me that the unfortunate situation that we saw, with people sitting outside on the chairs and the rain was falling, that was unfortunate, and it was something that they were addressing. Right? It's not something that did not happen. It was something that happened, and they were looking into it and they were addressing it. And I spoke to somebody, hi, all right? And I want to say to her, thank you very much for responding to me, all right? And if Miss Mary Shaw is listening, I want to tell her thanks, because I know sometimes she listens, Miss Mary Shaw, and she will get someone from the board or somebody from the authorities to get on to me. So, Miss Mary Shaw, if that was your doing, I want to say thank you very much publicly. And I also want to say thank you to the persons from Southwest who would have sent me the photos and let me know that they were getting things done to improve on the service. All right? So I want to just put that out there for people who, again, would feel that I ran with fake news or news that is not, you know what I mean? So, again, thanks to the Southwest. If I get the pictures, once I get the pictures on my phone, I would show you of what they were doing, all right, to help the situation. All right, so let me go to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, listeners of Constructive Talk. Melsina, Maratana, all my golden girls, Mr. Chance, everybody. Manu. Pastor Google, as a citizen of this country, I would like to say and bring a no confidence motion against the opposition leader and suggest that the opposition leader tender her resignation immediately. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, dear Pastor and Reverend and Brother.
How are you, sir?
Happy to be alive. You have one, Mr. Tabaki, the old clarion caller, is on your program. Before I make my contribution, let me say hello to Miss Jennifer Maricho, who you just call out there if she's listening. Mr. Tabaki is saying hello. My brother, I heard the entire clipping.
Right.
I heard the editorial. And I want to say this, you know, Tabaki, have lots of respect for you. And you know, I say it as is, so to speak. I took no prisoners. But one thing I want you is to give Tabaki a chance. I'll tell you what. After it is laid in the parliament, I, Mr. Tabaki, will be the first to come and tell you what I'm going to do.
All right.
I heard you. But I'm saying, give me a chance. Let it be laid, because Ramesh asks for it to be laid in the parliament.
Yes.
And I pray that the government, right, I pray that it is laid in the parliament, which is the highest court in the land. And after that is laid in the parliament, because I guess there is certain information which have not been revealed to the public. But when it is laid in the parliament, which I expect all other things what he cannot say in the parliament as a result of parliament privilege, there is certain information which will be laid there, the entire report. And after that is laid in the parliament, Pastor Google, I, Mr. Tabaki, is giving you full permission to call me out and say, Tabaki, I want you to come out now. Let me repeat this before I go. As a result of parliament privilege, there is certain information which I know Ramesh as a senior, and I don't know if you missed something what he said.
What he said?
He said in his 54 years of practice.
Right.
He said, brother, I am a good listener. You know. I am not a cherry-pick listener just to run and score political points. You know.
I hear you.
There is an old saying in the Bible, and I'm closing with this. Slow to speak and quick to listen, which you know that.
Yes.
And let me say that. For he to say within his 54 years, this is the worst he have ever seen. That is why I am telling you, with parliament privilege, what he cannot say in the public, the parliament will reveal that. And after that is laid in the parliament, I ask you, call on Tabaki to say what you have to say.
I hear you. All right, Mr. Tabaki. Thank you very much. Let me say good afternoon to Mr. Felix, who is on the live. Mr. Irvin Felix from Point Fortin, man. How are you going, my brother? I hope all is well with you. Hello, good afternoon.
Well, I'm happy that with Felix, Mr. Felix, he is listening to a good program and doing our program that's run. Pastor Google is here laughing.
Kingsley, this is going to get real interesting, Kingsley. Let me hear you.
You bake the cake.
Yes, I baked the cake.
You baked the cake.
Yes. Ella, let me tell you something, that Kingsley.
Yes.
The politics in this country just gets sweeter and sweeter. You can get diabetes from this politics. Yeah, you know. Go ahead now.
So I have to. I don't take key from Tabaki, but I have to take a little key from Tabaki because I would say tell Ramesh and AMV bring it on. And I speak today on behalf of Kamala Posad, the mother of the nation. We say bring it on. We say bring it on because we never make no allegation.
Oh, you never make no allegation?
No, we just lay it out.
Wait. Only didn't make any allegations, Kingsley?
We later to ask questions, Pastor Google.
Did you all make any allegations?
We never point fingers and say, hey, I'm victim gas, you know. We lay out and ask questions. That's what I'm saying to you.
Only never say that, Kingsley?
We lay out and ask questions.
All right. I will play Miss
So that's why today, Dr. Rowley, personal lawyer, have to answer what God, who dropped the ball in the train.
It's, you know,
who dropped the ball?
Yeah, but it's not hit. But Ramesh tell you who dropped the ball. Ramesh told you who dropped the ball. You ain't listening.
I listened.
Yes, Ramesh tell you who dropped the ball. If you didn't hear who Ramesh said dropped the ball, well.
But remember who is Ramesh client. So everything Ramesh saying there, as Tabaki say, let me see it on the break publicly.
All
right.
right.
On the table. Let me see it.
We will bring it.
Today, the question still remains, who dropped the ball at protection? That's what Ramesh had to answer. What's going on there?
No, Ramesh don't answer. No. Ramesh don't answer that. Ramesh don't answer who dropped the ball. He said that Ms. Bissessa made her allegations, and the board would have taken up on the allegations that Ms. Bissessa made. He also clarified that the Attorney General had nothing to do with that case.
Neither Kamala Prasad Bissessa.
Hello.
But neither.
But Ramesh said something. Yeah, but why she lied to the nation and saying that the Attorney General has to answer?
But the Attorney General also learned that Kamala has to answer.
When he said that?
When he said in an interview a day or 2 days ago.
What he said? What did the Attorney General say?
I have the clipping.
Tell it for me. Send it for me.
But Kamala Prasad Bissessa after a thing. That is why the leader on Monday night, she responded to him.
Kingsley, everybody was saying that Ms. Bissessa should answer in the sense of she is the one that brought it in the public domain, and she should answer and say, why did she bring a incomplete audit to the public domain?
Dr. Rowley and apologize and answer for the email gate as that
Kingsley, all right, no. You're shifting the goalpost. No. We ain't talking email gate. We're talking about this, what happening now. Hello, good afternoon. Don't shift no goalpost here. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor.
Hey! Oh, gosh! Come on, boy. So from Tabakit to Kingsley to Mr. Pidal. I like this. Only have to keep it like that.
Yes, Pastor Google.
But only have to keep it like that.
Well, I was listening to one of my past favorite politicians.
Your past favorite politician?
Yeah, Ramesh.
And
with a serious tabanka. You know, if he
so you have a tabanka?
Manning government collapsed, he would have been in place to be Prime Minister.
Wait, say that again? Say that again?
So he's bitter against Mr. Pandey because Horimani eat raw meat, according to Pandey. And, of course, if Mrs. Bissessa had not stepped into the breach, it would have been all a gift to him. He would have been Prime Minister.
Really?
But that's on the political side. Let's go with what he said.
With what he said. Tell me what he said.
Confront. Well, he attacked Mrs. Bissessa and he attacked the Petrotrin board.
Right.
Irresponsibility and their shortcomings.
Mm-hmm.
With the board, he felt they did not do their due diligence and they did not give Mr. Batch the opportunity to respond, although Mr. Ramesh was all over the place as his lawyer, making a noise and pointing out that, well, you know, we want to get involved. We want to have our say in this matter.
Right.
And they were denied over and over again.
Who was denied?
He holds the board culpable for that.
Right, go ahead.
And, now, so I'll come back to the board, but I know you really want to talk about Mrs. Bissessa.
What do you have to say? What based on Monday night? Wait, it is based on Monday night. On Monday night, Ms. Bissessa accused the Attorney General of dropping the ball. And the former Attorney General, which is Mr. Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj, is saying that the Attorney General had nothing to do with this. Why did Ms. Bissessa misled the population to believe that it was the Attorney General who dropped the ball?
I have a question for Ramesh. Petrotrin was not required to go through the cabinet, the prime minister, and the AG, right? They were not required. They had their own system like WASA and everybody else, and they are not required to go through the AG. But is there anything in our law that says that they cannot utilize the AG for his expertise and his office and get his guidance? Is there anything that stops them? You know, in our system here, we have certain separations where this one cannot do that and this one must not do that and shall not and shall and whatnot, right? Is there anything that locks them? I listened to this thing 3 times, including this last time here. I heard it again. I heard it live. I heard it a repeat on 412 this morning, and I hear it here now. And I did not hear the AG, former Prime Ministerial aspirant Ramesh say that the AG was blocked in any way from assisting the Petrotrin board with the expertise.
Yeah, but Mr. Pinal, while I hear you with that, you are shifting the group. We just now. Mr. Pinal, you are shifting the goalposts. You are shifting the goalposts. You're moving the goalposts. The question I'm asking you is, on Monday night, Ms. Bissessa said that the Attorney General have questions to answer on why he dropped the ball.
Tell you why I am raising it in this way. If there's nothing blocking him, maybe he should have jumped into it. And if he didn't, how do you feel about that? That here he is.
Mr. Pinal, you're still moving the goalpost. That's not the question I'm asking. You are trying to make it look as though, you're making it look as though, okay, so the Attorney General could have assisted in this case and he omitted himself, or did he purposely omitted himself from assisting in the case?
Purposely or neglectfully, why was he not involved if there's nothing?
Because I'm going to play why he was not involved, Mr. Pinal. Mr. Pinal, I'm going to play why he was not involved. I'm going for a break and come back to Tobago. Yeah, so I'm glad that the UNC callers are calling in and laying their view.
But I'll call back. You go ahead.
I'm going for a break. I'm going for a break and come back. What? Well, that's what we're talking about. You're hearing how the UNC supporters are shifting the goalposts? You listening? You hear the question I'm asking? You see, that is my fault, you know. I should have played Ms. Bissessa questioning the Attorney General, and then you all would have understood where I'm coming from. Maybe I didn't do it the right way. You know what I mean? Maybe I didn't do it the right way. I'm going to do it the right way when I come back at the 1 o'clock hour, my last and final hour. I'm going to do it the right way. Stick and stay.
Wanna be where you are. I wanna be where you are. I wanna be where you are. Come on, it's so simple. That's all it says. I wanna be where you are. Is this a cry of your heart this evening? I gotta be where you are. Yeah, I wanna be where you are. Gotta be where you are. I wanna be where you are. Lord, I gotta be where you are. just to see you, to behold you as our King, for your glory. I will do anything just to see you, to behold you as my King, for your glory, for your glory. I would do anything just to see you, to behold you as our King, and for your glory.
More to love, yes it's true. Pennywise, just for you. So real, get that perfect smile. Beauty's in every aisle. To take care of your body, we have all you need to stay healthy. Pennywise, more to love, yes it's true. Pennywise, just for you.
Pennywise gives you more to love.
Len Capital Certificates is a passive income service company located at Princess Margaret Street in San Fernando and 5th Street South Woodbrook. At Len Capital, investing is made simple. You invest with us. We make the investments and then you collect returns either monthly or yearly. We have 5 different options you can choose from, and each investment option comes with different benefits starting from TT $5,000. For more information, contact 399-0307. Len Capital Certificates. It's all about you.
This year, avoid bacteria with C's cleaning supplies. Made locally, superior quality, a family brand you can't deny. Detergents formulated to be better. Fabric softeners make laundry the brighter. All sanitizers are multi-purpose. So spend your pennies where it's a purpose.
C's Cleaning Supplies is the new trusted brand for household cleaning. Visit us on Facebook and Instagram at C's Cleaning Supplies. Place an order by calling us on 340-4610.
Nobody selling you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. That's right. And it's worth something.
This is Black Watch. Join us every Monday from 9 to 11 p.m. Black Watch. Let the show begin.
At Health and Wealth Lifestyle, we offer a wide range of services: blood analysis, iridology, acupuncture, foot detox, foot massages, gua sha, hot stone therapy, fire therapy, legs and feet massage therapy, mineral scrubs, acrotherapy, cupping.
We also have a wide variety of supplements, silver, zinc and magnesium, body light, and lots more.
We at Health and Wealth Lifestyle operate our business in a clean, safe, and comfortable environment. We frequently sanitize our compound and abide by all the COVID guidelines that are currently in place.
So come on down to Health and Wealth Lifestyle, where we treat you like family. Book your appointment today. Call us at 1-868-275-8359.
Or 1-868-288-1108.
And remember, your health is your wealth. And prevention is always better than medication.
Hey guys, it's Aisha Wells here. Listen up. If you're considering selling or renting your house in Trinidad and Tobago, then call Keelan George with O'Neill's Real Estate Group. He's a good friend of mine and he's been in the business for over 6 years. First, selling real estate in Atlanta, Georgia, and now right here in Trinidad and Tobago. He has a strategic online marketing presence that actually attracts thousands of home buyers and renters. Plus, with his home selling advice and techniques, he's getting homes sold really fast. Keelan will actually guarantee you sell your home, or get this, you can cancel the listing agreement and pay nothing at any time. That's right, you heard me, nothing at any time. Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, people. Check out www.o'neillrealestatetT.com. O'Neill is spelled O-N-E-I-L, or just call Keelan direct at 363-4030. That's 363-4030.
This is Bishop Aaron Williams from the Divine Problem Solving International Ministries, inviting you to be part of our broadcast on any given Thursday night from 12 midnight right on to 5 a.m. on Friday morning. And this broadcast is called Early Morning Gospel Market Program. Then we have on Tuesday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. the Holy Ghost Gospel Pharmacy. If you are sick and ill, and you could get from this particular pharmacy, from the pharmacist, the good things of life. Hallelujah. And any Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, break into the house of the Philistines. Hallelujah. If you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, hearing the babel of false doctrines that you encounter daily, it's about time you get close to God. God's word direct from his throne room in the name of Jesus.
God has good plans for his people. Why do you worry so much?
Now there's a new way to pay your electricity bill.
Quick pay your bills today. Quick pay, it's a whole new way. Online, pay your bill one time. Yes, there is a whole new way to quick pay for your electricity. Yes, they made it easy. Just enter your account number. 4 clicks and it's over.
Introducing Quick Pay, a new service from the Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission that lets you pay your bill online with your credit or Visa debit chip card. Just enter the account number and contact information. Click Pay and you're done.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Right, I'm back with you, Trinidad and Tobago. So before I do anything, I need to do this. So let me make sure and get this here. Boom. Right. What I'm going to get is this. Boom. Right. Let me just get this in order here. So Mr. Penal and Mr. Kingsley, this is a question I'm asking. This is what the opposition leader said. And this is why I'm asking my questions based on this. All right? Let's go. So this is it.
Former Attorney General and Attorney at Law Ramesh Lawrence Maraj is calling on government to make public the arbitrator's decision in the dispute between ANV Oil and Petrotrin. This following a decision by the arbitrators who found no evidence of wrongdoing by ANV in its delivery of crude oil to Petrotrin. Marlon Hopkinson has the details.
It was on a political platform in 2017 that opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar alleged that ANV Oil, which was hired to supply the Pointe-a-Pierre refinery with crude oil, had fleeced Petrotrin of close to $100 million. She also claimed that ANV was allowed to do so as owner Hanif Batch was a close friend of Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. ANV's contract was later terminated, and the company subsequently took the matter to court. Arbitrators Humphrey Stallmeyer, Lord David Hope and Sir Dennis Byron ruled 2 days ago that Petrotrin failed to prove that ANV was involved in any inappropriate practices in the delivery of crude oil. The arbitrators also agreed to compensation for ANV. But at a UNC virtual meeting last evening, opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar questioned how the government lost the case against ANV Oil.
Right, so this is a question here, Kingsley Penal. This is the question. Now, Mr. Tabakit say he waiting for it to be rest in the parliament. Let it come to the parliament. Let it be public. And then Mr. Tabakit say he go run in and make his statements. Mr. Penal and Kingsley had a different view. This is what was said, and this is the question I'm asking. So Kingsley and Mr. Penal and all the rest of UNC supporters, could you answer me this question, please?
I want to ask you now, AG, did you do all in your power
as head of the bar and as legal advisor to the government to ensure proper litigation? Did you ensure a proper case and that all evidence was supplied? Did you provide the independent audit by Kroll Consulting Canada and the Gaffney Klein report?
Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi has reportedly said his office was not involved in the matter and therefore could not respond.
Okay. All right. The Attorney General answered. The question was asked. The Attorney General answered, but Ms. Bissessa is allegedly claiming that the Attorney General knew something, didn't fight the case properly.
You see that a nation without a soul is like a ship that has lost its rudder. Our nation at all. Born in a land of such great expectation, over the years I watched his deterioration. Just couldn't stand by idly and say it's a shame. Someone or something in this land has to be blamed. Politics for one and politicians for the other.
The opposition leader has questions of her own for the Attorney General. She's asking, did the Attorney General do his best to ensure that the state was properly represented in the case against A&V drilling? The opposition leader was speaking during her party's virtual Monday night meeting, where she questioned the AG's intentions in the case.
I want to ask you now, AG, did you do all in your power as head of the bar and as legal advisor to the government to ensure proper litigation? Did you ensure a proper case and that all evidence was supplied? Did you provide the independent audit by Kroll Consulting Canada and the Gaffney Klein report? People are asking if you threw the case away to give Keith Rowley's bestie some money in damages. Someone said it's $1 billion.
Right. So that was Ms. Bissessa asking questions. Right? I hope you're listening in Trinidad and Tobago. I hope you are listening, you know, because I'll tell you something, You see the games people play? You see the games that some people play? You only need to be aware and see them for who they are. All right? So, they're playing games with us now. Yeah, they're playing games with us. They don't know that 91.9 FM. We are like investigators.
Trinidad and Tobago for a short period of time. The Attorney General was not responsible for the evidence provided in this allegation. The Attorney General represents the state. Petrotrin was not under the jurisdiction of the Office of the Attorney General. Petrotrin had its own counsel, and the chairman of Petrotrin was answerable to the board of directors of Petrotrin. Petrotrin retained its own lawyers. The Attorney General office would have had nothing to do, the Attorney General or the Office of the Attorney General, from my experience, would have had nothing to do with this case. This was a case in which Petrotrin retained and is on record private attorneys at law. The attorneys at law which Petrotrin retained included Senior Counsel Deborah Peake and Mr. Ravi Hafiz Doon and a private firm of instructing attorneys at law. So the Office of the Attorney General did not have conduct of this case on behalf of Petrotrin. The allegation, therefore, that the Attorney General was responsible for not calling the relevant evidence and therefore Petrotrin lost the case is totally false. It is curious and startling that a person who served as Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago could go publicly on behalf of a party and to say to the country that in a case between Petrotrin and A&V and Petrotrin, that the Attorney General had jurisdiction over that case. When law students know that Petrotrin is governed by a board of directors, and the board of directors is responsible for those affairs of the company.
A nation without a soul is like a ship that has lost.
I'll go to the phone line. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Richard. Good afternoon, Papa G. Papa, you hear this? It's my law student, no?
Hey! I'm Mr. Pete, I'm questioning that. Mr. Pete, I'm still for your question. That is Mr. Pinal's right.
Lovely moments, sometimes, you know, brother. And watch me. The Lakers and the Lackeys, they go and try and go beyond that, you know. They go and bring up an next issue to cover on this, you know. Don't get tired, you know. Some nastiness they go and see on Facebook and reel up the whole scene to interrupt this, you know. But what is of interest to me, right? I wouldn't stay too long, because I know people's mouth must be busting to talk. What is of interest to me is the next line now. Now here they say, now they're fooling we, they're fooling 91.9. They're fooling the listeners who are listening to Papa G, because we deal with facts. And Papa G just come with the capes and things, if you understand. Will you come in now, speaking to your illiterati, and you know they believe you?
Of course.
You could imagine. Yes, the AG. So the AG responsible, the set a dunceness I set up in this country, boy, Papa G.
Of course, I forget how to play something. Yeah. Go ahead. I'll play something. I have something you to play.
I'm going. Let's go. I think I say enough.
All right.
We set up later.
Hello, good afternoon.
Pastor Google.
Hey, share the live.
Share the live.
Mommy,
yes.
I know I could play this with you on the line. Stay right there, Mommy. Listen to one of their supporters, right?
Yes.
You listening, Mommy? Listen to this one, Mommy. When I don't play this one for you, Mommy, you're going to say, I want to hear, I play this one, Mommy. Listen to this one, Mommy. Oh, gosh, Mommy. When I get this one, I say, nah, we something wrong. Listen to this one, Mommy. Listen to this. You feel his joke?
Of the tribunal on the AV drilling matter, popularly known as the fake oil issue. I think that is what it is called. I think in a general sense, what the AV company, AV Drilling, was being accused of was providing documentation or making claims for oil that they did not produce, and Petrotrin was paying for it, and so on. That, in essence, is I think what it was. My encapsulation might not be totally complete, but that, in essence, is what it was. Now, when I myself have not read the judgment, I have read what has been coming out in the papers and so on. And I must say that the tribunal, the composition of the tribunal, I find very, very impressive. I think at least two of them are not citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, but of the Caribbean Court of Justice, former officials and so on. And that fact lends a level of persuasiveness to what they have decided upon, the decision that they are handing down. It is clear that the accusation that was made by Mrs. Prasad Bisesa when she raised the issue, according to the judges, was done from an incomplete document. The audit was not complete. And from what I gather from what you are saying as well, is that there were suspicions, but no hard evidence. And it is really unfortunate that this thing developed to the point where Petrotrin had to take action to terminate the contract of the company because of the accusations and what was being said and the whole atmosphere surrounding it. And we now know that the whole report and the conclusions of that audit were inconclusive. And the person, the complainant, the person who was accused, Mr. Baksh, is to be awarded monies that were due to him. And as you rightly say, I'm sure he's going to seek damages. We also will have to hear from Mr. Bidya Devki Singh, how he is going to react, because he was removed from his position in Petrotrin. And if as a result of this tribunal, the judgments, the accusations and the consequences, the decision to terminate Mr. Devki Singh was unfair and unfounded, well then I'm sure he has a course to follow in the courts. So yeah, that is that situation. Whether this thing is going to be concluded as a result of this, I can't say. I'm in no position to say. Whether other issues will arise, we would see. But for the time being, it seems that Mr. Baksh has won the day against the opposition, the claims of the opposition. I would think in this situation that it ought to be the responsibility of the opposition, leader of the opposition, to respond to this decision and to this situation. What is she going to say in response to this matter, which has now been adjudicated upon by the tribunal, and which, caused a lot of furore in the society, I think in the early part of the last administration. I think in particular because of some friendship between Mr. Baksh and the then present Prime Minister. So I think the opposition has to answer. Hey! They have some things to say. They ought to have some things to say about this judgment. They just can't go silent. Because if they were so convinced about what they were doing and what they were claiming, because they spoke with a lot of conviction. Yes. I think they owe the country an explanation, some response that will lead to some clarification of their position, some response as a result of the rulings of the tribunal. Mommy!
Shady lies, shady lies.
Mommy, what you want to say?
Pastor Google, number one. This lady contaminated. Right? Pastor Google, you think she's going to respond to that?
But that's your boy. Ralph is your boy. Ralph is everybody know who Ralph supporting. Right. And Ralph saying that she had questions to answer.
Yes. She will not answer to Pastor Google. She will not. You know who answer was she?
Who?
Kingsley, who told in the bag. I feel the bag has empty bottles in it.
What's wrong with them, yes?
Pastor Google, just imagine. David Knockett. That is your boss.
Yes.
You going
we supposed to be calling for him to be removed as a senator.
You could be this thing. You calling Keith Christopher Rowley, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, a house Negro.
Don't study them now, mommy.
Pastor Google, listen to me now. Pastor Google, I have known Dr. Rowley for quite some years. He represents we, the people of the Gomata West constituency, and he always make good contribution. Pastor Google, I don't know what it is Keith Christopher Rowley because he black. The last time they call him Oreo, you call him black. No, he's not black, it's blank. And she continue. Pastor Google, right now the UNC falling apart. Here's what I'm telling you about.
Thank you.
Right, have a good one.
Same to you. Have a good afternoon.
Pastor Google.
Hey, talk to me.
How to describe it? That is Ramesh?
No, you hear? I played Mr. Ramesh Lawrence Maraj.
That is Ramesh.
I played Mr. Ralph Maraj.
But I waited to hear because I hear is it the teacher man we were talking to just now?
Right.
His partner.
Yeah.
So you call him? They call the next one? The UNC 3 of them call. Forget Tabakit.
So we had Kingsley, we had Mr. Tabakit, and we had Mr. Pinal. Tabakit, leave Tabakit out of this.
Don't study Tabakit. Tabakit pretending.
No, Mr. Tabakit said to let it lay in the parliament.
That is already laid. Everything that you hear there and you play the Tabakit here, Tabakit tries to play neutral. Tabakit wants to throw the handbag still. So Tabakit trying to play neutral so that he could call and say, hey, all of a sudden he become non-political and then he go on back so. And he come non-political, so forget he. He's still trying to play catch-up. Kingsley and Mr. Pinal, you hear Mr. Pinal defense? All the time Ramesh was a good man. Ramesh is now not a good fella no more. Ramesh was the best lawyer in Trinidad and Tobago, not for Mr. Pinal and them no more. So I want to hear, when he called I-95, because he just played that clip, if Ramesh now buy a UNC ticket, if Ramesh get a UNC, Ralph Maraj get a UNC ticket and come back home. You understand my point? Because after you play that, that's what they're going to be telling me, you know. Ralph Maraj joined back with the PNM. That is why he's singing that song. So anytime anybody agree with any East Indian person, whether they are UNC or not, agreed with this government on whatever action they take, once it was in the good folds of the UNC, they jump over. As you disagree with them, you're either no good, they start to question all the years, they ain't questioning any reputation. You see now that he exposed, because the investigation into AV drilling was incomplete. And what Petrotrin Board was investigating was what, Pastor Google? Petrotrin was investigating, apparently they were getting short oil. By the opposition leader coming and read an incomplete document in the parliament, caused Petrotrin to speed up and take away the contract and tell themselves with whatever information they have, they might be able to take V&V to court and win the matter. Unfortunately, because of what she did, that is what Ramesh used in the court to win the matter, you know. You know that?
Yeah.
What she did is what Ramesh used in the court to win the matter. That is what they ain't telling me. Is by her actions revealing what she revealed, and they doing what they did, and can't defend it because the document, they can't go with the complete document now, you know. I could only go with the incomplete document. So my evidence, wherever I was able to gather after that, becomes none and void. So who has to pay today? You and I have to pay that bill.
Right.
And here, you remember when he say, well, I don't talk. Any questions? One lawyer jump up. What is your fee? How much is your percentage? You understand that?
Yeah.
All right. Enjoy evening, sir.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Good afternoon, sir.
What are going on, guys? Well, big things are going on.
Boy.
Hey, here he's saying, oh, what tangle web we
weave, yes.
When we set out
to deceive. Oh, good. Big messy rhyme there, boy.
I want to leave that with you. Oh, what tangle web we weave when we set out to deceive. I want to say that the attitude, the MO, right? The MO of Ms. Kamala Prasad-Bissessar and that of the UNC in far large part is one of constant misinformation.
Yeah.
Remember the teacup ball?
Yeah.
Ball in the parliament? And then sometime and after it turned out that it wasn't that way? Remember Dansum, that's his name?
Yeah.
Rest his soul. Remember Eric Williams and Franklin Khan because of misinformation again?
Yeah.
Right? You remember Malcolm Jones that the court cleared?
Yes.
So whenever the court cleared the PNM side, the court, something was missing.
Yeah.
Whenever the court cleared the UNC side, the court is the best thing and the judges is the best. Now, with what you just played, I was very much surprised because I happened to have tuned in that afternoon. For a long while I wasn't tuned in and I heard it. And I was shocked. Pastor Google, like your good self, I was shocked to see how Mr. Man had toned down Because what we hear from that particular person, in this case, you're talking about Ralph Marat.
Yes.
Now, in this case, you're talking about him and what you just played.
Yes.
It's public knowledge, I can call his name. You know what's interesting? A lot of the time, when he makes a statement, even when he's called to adjudicate as a what is he? What did you call him? What is he? He's not a journalist. They call him, most times a particular TV station call him to give his comments, but they don't call him as a journalist. They call him as a commentator or some one of those things, right?
Yes.
Most time he says, I didn't read or I didn't hear the Prime Minister. Whenever it's Dr. Rowley speaking, he never read it or he never heard it. But so then what aspect of his commentary that it could be fair if he never reads or heard it before? You heard him today. You heard it that day when he spoke. He said, I didn't read the judgment, but I've been reading what the newspaper say. And based on and so he was left caught that he had no other ground but to side for the first time in a million years in all of his age, to side with what was happening. Now, you are having a discussion with Mr. Pinal. And every time you try to bring Mr. Pinal to the point where what is the facts of the matter, what did Mr. Pinal do? You keep telling him, Mr. Pinal, you're moving the goalpost. You're moving the goalpost. So you know what it's again? Misinformation. And so to make sense for some people, the misinformation has to continue to be perpetrated. It has to continue to be echoed. And even when it is something of their own making and imagination, because the facts is stated, and the man is now turning the script to say, well, probably the AG could have, and he didn't. So are you comfortable with that? We are comfortable with the fact that the man who represented AV said exactly what the situation is. And he said that it is the former Prime Minister, the opposition leader, who is at fault for making this thing go the distance in which it went. You know, nobody is saying, and some of our, oh my gosh, can I just say, some of our knife and fork people will never come forward and call on that side of the fence to make a proper apology, or they will never come forward because they too are very much a part of the narrative to continue to vilify and to pull down and to see how much they can continue to make this one man, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, look like if he is not doing anything for the betterment of the country. Pastor Google, I'm enjoying today. I'm enjoying the little time I'm having. I'm longing to hear some of the UNT activists or proponents come back on, because it's, you know, the minute somebody who say I love my country and see the gentleman just say, the minute somebody just say I love my country and I want to be patriotic, and it seems as if it sounds like it on the PNM side, all of a sudden we are what? We are sometimes branded as being a sycophant. We are branded as being somebody who has no understanding. We are branded as somebody who can't, we are stupid. We have no intelligence. But you know, whenever it goes the other way, somehow misinformation, lies and deceit, it means intelligence for some people.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Pastor Google, good afternoon. No longer trying, but anyhow, some people don't have understanding, Pastor Google, therefore it's hard for them to listen to intelligent people, to what they are saying. And the point is, if the SC lady thinking that, okay, the Attorney General is responsible for it, when, from what I gather, she was Attorney General at some time, I wonder what she did in her days, if it was able to be something legal or whatever it is. No, you have to wonder to know what went on. And the point is to have any respect for her. When she used the words Dr. Rowley or whoever is Oreo, blank, black, and they go to hell. That is why all her followers could come now and speak out that where the Prime Minister for Trinidad and Tobago, what he is. And the next thing I have to say is that when you're going to school, as I tell somebody, as a woman, and you're telling lies and what you're doing is making confusion. But when you're big, it ain't confusion anymore. It's commerce. they make in.
All right.
And I would see that person in that category. Okay, then.
Thank
bye.
you very much. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. All right, caller, you need to call me back. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello?
Hi, good afternoon.
You hearing me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Oh, all right, good. Well, I'm just saying, have you ever heard Mr. Pinal condemn that opposition leader?
Well, he said he has done it. He said he has done it.
He has done it?
He said so.
When so, we miss those things. Because there is nothing that woman do or say, but always coming like an apologist. You understand, to show where somebody else in the room. Look now, I just called you today to say, you see what Jenny was telling you yesterday? That is how they just make you feel. And he's one of them that does make you feel just so for the angel and them to mash up their wings on them. I'm not even taking them on that. They will never say that woman is guilty of what Ramesh is saying, and never will call on her. But just let Dr. Rowley open his mouth and say, Ray. Oh, he has to apologize. He this, he that, he the other. But he's the biggest apologist, maybe, just like how she finds. He's the biggest, well, I forget what she say he was causing with this thing here. Buffer. You know, so I don't take them on, you know. They like the radio like myself, but they on it to make mischief. And from radio station to radio station to think that is their work. So let them go ahead. That making them feel alive. Why will see?
All right.
Look, good, thank you, Google.
Yeah. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi,
I want to thank you very much for enlightening us and, bringing everything to perspective, right? The result of what you of this case shows us the value of acting on facts supported by evidence and not hearsay. There should be a no confident motion on the opposition leader, and a request for her resignation as opposition leader should be made. A call should also be made for the shaming of the person or persons who forwarded the unconfirmed information to her.
Yes.
The last thing, a call should also be made for Ms. Kamala to explain why she misled the public, resulting in a cost to be determined on the public purse. But they always say, the fight is not ours, huh? The fight is God. And now it's being redefined. We are seeing what's going on. So we need to always leave things in God's hand, and things will be revealed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon. Hello?
And Reverend.
Yes.
Reverend?
Yes, hearing you.
Right. This is Tabaki. I will not be long. Let me wrap up quickly. As I told you before, I am quoting Ramesh. Until because Ramesh said the full report is not laid yet. There are certain things which we still don't know. And until that is not been laid in the parliament, as I promise you, because Ramesh is must be laid in the parliament.
Yes.
You hear me, brother?
Yes.
So I am saying, yes, I will respond. I will come to you and turn up as a man. But until that report is not laid in the parliament, the final report, I am waiting for the full report, and I call on the Prime Minister to take it to the parliament late and let the country hear the entire report, and then Tabaki will be coming out and out.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Do I have a caller here? No. All right, so I can play some voice notes. Let me play some voice notes.
Pastor Google, good morning. I don't know why all you is trying to have sensible conversation with stupid people. Continuously, I don't know why all leaders do that. Talk to sensible people and get some information from sensible people. The UNC is a bunch of tribalists. They can say what they want. UNC are tribalists. They have a set of Negroes for sale. And no matter what you tell them, no matter how the truth comes out, they will always find a way to try to spin it. And if the opposition leader is stating that the Attorney General has to answer, then I ask the question, when was this motion filed between AV and Petrotrin? Who was in government at the time? What did the then Attorney General do to ensure a proper investigation? What did the state do to guide Petrotrin at that point in time? Who was the government in power at that time? Who actually started the investigation? Not the government at that time. So why it is now the asking the Attorney General to explain, asking the Attorney General why he didn't bring in foreign investigators. So if the state at that time had a problem with AV, made the statements on the political platforms, caused Petrotrin to lose an investigation, did that government not have the opportunity? They did not have the moral capacity to say, hey, let me get these investigators to investigate this?
All right. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Yes, sir.
Pastor Google, if it get involved in that, you know what should I be saying now? It's political mischief by the PNM. But Dr. Raleigh was careful of not getting himself involved. When she called his name, he came to Parliament and he admitted that he know the man and for how long he know the man. But he had nothing to do with any fake oil. She went ahead and do as she accustomed doing with the live sport report and all those sort of things that you know, reading out things before it didn't clear and everything, because with live sport she did the same thing. And the former minister said he was vindicated until he had to come up and say there's still under investigation, and the police commissioner said the same thing too. So Kamala Prasad knows these things. She's also a senior congressman. But you see, that is not an issue for the government of Trinidad and Tobago. It's an issue between Ms. Kamala Prasad and Mr. Bash. Mr. Bash is not an ordinary citizen to say that he won't be able to fight and take her because you need money for those things. You saw the person he paid for his people's choice of person he paid for the thing there. He paid his money because the man, listen, she really destroyed the man's reputation, you know. You listen to what Mr. Ramesh Lawrence man said, and then you put yourself in position to understand what is going on. So, penal, and they could talk and say what they want. That's what they paid for, the commanders did. But yeah, the problem is not a PNM problem. It is not an issue for the UNC. It's an issue between Ms. Kamala Prasad and Mr. Bash. And he's going to take her to court. And there's good grounds for Dr. Raleigh to take her to court to her because she called Dr. Raleigh name to her.
Yeah, right. Mr. Maraj indicate, but he didn't say it in so many words, but he keep hinting on that. All right, thank you very much, caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, Pastor Google.
Yes, Mr. Toronto.
How are you going?
I'm good.
Hey, Pastor Google, yeah, I listened to all of this. You can see Mr. Ramesh Maraj. And the man said, he said, as Attorney General, he was Attorney General. In a matter like this, the Attorney General is not to involve in this kind of matter. And she's trying to refer that Mr. Awari should be the one who take up the matter. You know what happened to this lady? Something, you know, with Eric Williams and Mr. Damsuk and them and Mr. Franklin. It's the same thing she's doing. It's the same thing the woman is doing, Pastor. And this lady needs to be called in front of the in Parliament, and let her no confidence vote on her. She needs to be dealt with, Pastor, because she get away too much.
All right.
Too much.
All right.
And Pastor, another thing. She called her damage. Remember Mr. Bash's daughter was a senator?
Yeah.
She called the chicks.
Yeah.
She called the woman to left the Senate. So she's doing a lot of damage to people, and she's going to have to pay for it.
Yes.
I'll talk, Pastor Google.
Thank you.
Pastor Google, that man who just gave that narrative there, oh my goodness, send him to the head of the university, right? This is the Punisher again. That journalist, as they call him in the evening time, he is not a journalist. He considers himself to be a political analyst. But he never knows, he never heard, he never read, but he can give a comment. Tell me how straight is that? I mean, we are not fools in this country. And we are not fools here at all. Later.
Thank you very much. The phone lines are going crazy. The voice notes are coming in fast
Pastor
and furious.
Google, as citizen again of Trinidad and Tobago, I am bringing a motion of no confidence in the opposition leader and in Senator David Nakib to tender their resignation immediately. They are no good for this country. The opposition leader would have called for sanction against our country, should have written to the Australian government, I think it was with the OPV matter, should have written to the American embassy with certain matters again. This one, enough is enough. I am calling for the opposition leader to do the honorable thing and tender her resignation. Let somebody else take over the UNC. And also for Senator David Nakib to immediately tender his resignation.
Thank you.
Pastor Google, good evening. Pastor Google, in a medical institution. I was feeling sick. And when I hear where you're playing, it get me a little better because it show me that every time this woman pelt a boomerang behind the Prime Minister or anybody with lies, it coming back at she. And then one final thing, Pastor Google. The other day I hear like you was vexed when Mr. Hines said what he say in the parliament about the COVID phase. But to me, if I is to give a statement on that, to me, them worse than COVID because COVID still picking who it want to kill. But them killing everybody in the country because if the government had to pay all them billions of dollars and everybody who working, everybody going through that. So them more causing harm to the country. Pastor Google, have a blessed day.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. I have been trying and I cannot get in. So let me make my point in this way. Number one, the former AG, Ramesh, said that in his experience, the AG does not handle these things. I'm listening carefully to everybody. Nobody is saying that he cannot help. Nobody is saying that if a state corporation is in some kind of legal battle somewhere, that the Attorney General of the day cannot intervene, or they cannot ask him, or the Prime Minister cannot ask for a meeting of minds among the legal people in the AG's office and at the corporate level where they have their lawyers and so on and everybody, or even for the AG's office to take it over and advise accordingly. Nobody is saying that the AG's office is excluded. They are saying that he doesn't have to be involved. I mean, I'm involved in a lot of things I don't have to be.
Wow, you sounding just, I could have sworn it was Mr. Munilal talking there.
Good morning, Pastor Google. What is this? All of a sudden, Pinal trying and he can't get in. He don't want to call in because he feels Pastor Google will throw questions at him and he will stutter. All of a sudden, he can't get in. He is getting anytime he wants to get in 3 and 4 times. Kill him dirty bright, eh?
Brother Pastor King Googles. Very good program. I didn't hear what Mr. Ralph Marad said. I would like to hear what he said.
All right. I don't have much time again, so I can't play it again.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. Pastor Google, what is the difference between Jack Warner and Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley? Which one black and which one white? Dr. Rowley is black and Jack Warner black. What is the problem? What is the problem with Dr. Rowley?
All right. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Uh-huh.
I will be very short. I the lady who was calling me yesterday, and I told you everything, and I said it's too long for me to read. You realize it's true?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I ain't hear any last call. I call him back, though. Thank you.
Huh?
I ain't hear the man who calling back at all.
I ain't hear him call that, but I was out and now coming.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Realize everything I told you yesterday was true, eh?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Hello, good afternoon.
Pastor Google.
Uh-huh.
Boy, I'm getting today. Yesterday, you gave me 15 minutes and I didn't take my call. Anyway, I listened there. Let me tell you. Ms. Kamala Prasad did the same thing. Waving with the two-pole man, wave a paper mix, and she thought it would have been the same way, but this is a different kettle of fish. This is a kettle of fish with a shark inside it. You understand? So she gets caught up, and Mr. Penal and Kingsley always the defense, but they can't defend. They always want to move the goal. If the ball playing by down here, they pull in the goalpost by down here to see a goal could score. They pull it up so their goal could score. But Mr. Penal, let me tell you something. You've been caught up with long time. Everybody know you. Everybody know what you're for. And Mr. Kingsley, let me say something to you. Everybody know. They say they want to know if somebody is smart. Listen to them. And if they want to know they're stupid, listen to them talk. But we listen to them talk. Mr. Kingsley have nothing good to say. Don't know what to say. Don't know how to even move the goalpost. You're shoving it, but they're shoving it with the ball not playing. You understand?
Right. Yeah, man.
Be gone.
Pastor Google, the Attorney General deliberately stayed out of it and did not get involved in it because Ms. Kamala Prasad Bissessar called Dr. Rowley named the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. So the state or the government allow Petrotrin to do their work. I don't know, maybe they probably didn't, they probably didn't want them to go that way. We don't know. But they stayed out of it and this is what played out. By the end of the day, Petrotrin has to pay money because Ms. Kamala Prasad Bissessar is the one who raised it and caused the whole brother bacchanal. And now the state had to pay all that money and she had to pay no cent to the state concerning that. But we'll see what play out with Mr. Bash and Ms. Kamala Prasad Bissessar.
Because that matter is in the court still, eh?
Lady, the difference between Dr. Rowley and Jack Warner, they could have manipulated Mr. Warner a bit, but they ain't dare try that by Dr. Rowley. That's the difference.
Pastor Google, good day again. Mr. Ralph Maraj will never, ever say anything good about the PNM. Ever since Patrick Manning put his sister under house arrest and he left the PNM, since then he has been toting sour grapes for the PNM. Every column he writes, every comment he makes, he always finds a way to spin back anything to blame the government for the position that he has taken.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Pastor Google.
Talk to me quick, Mr. Paula Spain.
Well, boys, go to the head of the class. You stop Mr. Pinal. You stop him in the hinges. He couldn't open out the wings to flap today. And this is what I have been saying. The notice you don't mention anything at all about the pot. I also caught him. This is what he had to do. Put him under heavy manners. Mr. Pinal, you believe we stupid yet? And Mr. Kingsley, you don't sound good, brother. Don't come back on the radio. Thank you very much, Mr. Google, for playing back all these games. Mr. Pinal can't get off the ground. He's like an unlanded plane that is being limbed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Trinidad and Tobago, well, you know, I'm getting ready to leave in a short bit. Just have about 5 minutes again. Yes, 5 minutes again. So I think I could take 2 or 3 more. 2 more calls, if so much. All right. But you see this song from Gypsy? It's very appropriate. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm not hearing you clearly, caller. You're sounding very muffled and far.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I was waiting to hear the luminary.
You're waiting to hear?
I'm waiting to hear from the luminary like Martin George, Mr. Reginald Dumas.
Sir, they're not going to say they are not going to say anything because clearly, let me tell you why they would not say anything. Ms. Bissessa made a statement about 1990. Did you hear them say anything? Ms. Bissessa talked about Ms. Bissessa made a statement in relation to like if the government is like want to kill its citizens. Did you hear them say anything? You really believe that they're going to say anything, sir?
Well, it would be nice to hear from them because they just
no, they're not going to say anything. They're not going to say anything, sir.
But not even the Tobago lawyer who talked so much about Tobago that Martin George, everything is Dumas.
Yes, well.
Not even Section 20.
No, sir. Don't call them out now. Thanks very much, eh?
No,
Hello, good afternoon.
Pastor Google, while now you hear my voice. Pastor Google, and the government thing about this is petition is owned by the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And the people of Trinidad and Tobago, when we need money to pay for the people who need help right now, we are going to pay out millions of dollars to petition and A.B. Gillen and all who name she call up in she foolishness. She coming out with evidence against people right through. This opposition leader is doing this right through and getting away. And then who are the people? People at Trinidad and Tobago, and people at Trinidad and Tobago, you understand? It's all your money, you know.
All right.
That's your money, you know.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day.
Last caller. Let me see how quick you can do this.
Pastor Google, good afternoon. Pastor Google, I hear you.
Your time running out. I don't want to talk in your time.
But just a good afternoon, too. Now you like to hear your voice.
Good afternoon.
Did you agree to that, Pastor Google?
What?
Did you agree to that? You had to take no train, want to there? Tell your wife I say hello.
Goodbye, Mr. for being with me today. And I trust that we're going to have a great one tomorrow. Please go. This is going to get really interesting. So don't touch your dial. Stick and stay right here on the street, 919 FM.
Picking up the road. From a far away journey.